Have you ever felt that your partner isn't responding to your expressions of love the way you expected? You might have tried everything, from thoughtful gestures to heartfelt words, but it just doesn't seem to land. It's frustrating, isn't it? And while you're giving your all, it may feel like you're not getting the same level of connection in return. Well, what if the problem wasn't with your efforts at all, but with the way you're speaking to each other? More specifically, how you're speaking each other's love languages. That's right. You might be facing a love language mismatch. You see, we all have a primary love language, which is the way we most naturally give and receive love. The challenge arises when our love languages don't match, and instead of feeling deeply connected, we can feel misunderstood and disconnected. So, let's dive into why this mismatch matters, and how understanding it can change everything for the better in your relationship. Imagine this for a moment. You've been showing your partner love in a way that feels natural to you. Maybe you've been showering them with thoughtful gifts or complimenting them regularly. But no matter how many gifts you give, or how many words of affirmation you express, it's like they're not feeling the connection. You might start to wonder, what am I doing wrong? Well, here's the thing, your love language might be different from theirs. And when you're not speaking their language, they won't fully understand the depth of your affection. So, let's break it down. To better understand this mismatch, we first need to know the 5 love languages. The first is words of affirmation. These are people who feel most loved when they hear verbal expressions of love, compliments, or words of encouragement. If your partner's primary love language is words of affirmation, they need to hear your love in a verbal form to truly feel connected. If your love language is acts of service, and you express love through doing things for them, it's possible that your partner isn't feeling loved because they're craving more words. Next, we have quality time. For some, the greatest expression of love is spending time together. It's not enough to just be in the same room. It's about being fully present with each other. No distractions, just pure connection. If your partner's love language is quality time, they want your undivided attention. When you're giving them gifts or doing things for them, but you're not prioritizing time together, they might feel neglected, even though you're showing love in your own way. The third love language is receiving gifts. Now, for some people, receiving a thoughtful gift is the ultimate expression of love. It's not about the price tag, but the thought and care behind the gift. If your partner speaks this love language, they feel deeply loved when you surprise them with something meaningful. But if your love language is physical touch or words of affirmation, and you show affection in other ways, your partner might feel like you're not invested in them. Even if you think they should appreciate the effort behind your actions, then there's acts of service. For people who speak this love language, it's not about words or gifts, it's about actions. They feel most loved when their partner goes out of their way to do something for them. It could be as simple as making them breakfast in bed or taking care of an errand they've been putting off. If your partner speaks this love language, they might feel neglected if you're not doing things for them, even if you're telling them how much you love them or spending time together. Lastly, we have physical touch. Some people feel most loved when they are physically close to their partner, holding hands, hugging, kissing, or simply sitting next to each other. If your partner speaks this language, they feel your love through touch. If your love language is quality time, and you're not showing affection physically, they may start feeling emotionally distant. So now you see how mismatch can happen. If your love languages don't align, it's easy to see how you might feel disconnected or frustrated. But understanding this mismatch is the first step toward fixing it. When you know that your partner feels loved in a different way than you do, you can start to speak their language, even if it's not your own. One of the most important things to keep in mind is that love languages are not about changing who you are. It's not about forcing yourself to speak a love language that doesn't come naturally to you. Instead, it's about learning to recognize and understand your partner's needs, and then making a conscious effort to meet them halfway. It's about finding the middle ground where both of you feel heard, valued, and understood. It might take time to learn how to speak your partner's love language, but the effort is worth it. Start by paying attention to the way they show love to you. What do they do to make you feel loved? Do they touch you more often? Do they express their feelings through kind words or acts of service? Observe their behaviors, and use that as a guide to adjust how you show them love in return. If you're unsure about their love language, don't be afraid to ask. In a healthy relationship, communication is key. Have an open conversation with your partner about how you both feel loved and appreciated. Discuss how you each express love and what makes you feel most connected. It's important to approach this conversation with curiosity, not criticism. You're not trying to point out what's wrong. You're trying to understand each other better. As you begin to understand your partner's love language, it's also important to express your own. Let them know how you feel most loved, and be patient as they learn how to speak your language. It's not about perfection, but about making the effort to meet each other's needs. And as you both begin to speak each other's love languages, you'll notice that the connection between you grows deeper. You'll both feel more valued, understood, and appreciated. But what if you're still struggling? If the mismatch continues, it might be helpful to consider relationship counseling. A therapist can help guide you both through understanding each other's love languages and working through any challenges that come up. The most important thing is that you're committed to learning and growing together. Relationships take work, and learning each other's love language is one of the most rewarding investments you can make. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, because you will learn a ton of information in the next video.